Hey guys, I'm back again and I'm here to do my October wrap up. Now, October, I don't know what it is about just after September, just everything seems to just be going really, really fast. So, with all that was going on in October, I still managed to read 3 books and, of course, a little bit of Les Miserables, because, that is what we're reading, the ones we're reading with me. That's what we're reading, October and November. Okay, so first book that I read was this one right here called Sing Her Name by Rosalind Story. This was the Read So Lit read along book club that I run over on Patreon. This is the read that we did for October. This is the first time I have read anything by Rosalind Story. This was an interesting novel which follows a young girl and her brother, and they have had to flee New Orleans after Katrina, and mostly because also her brother has gotten himself into a little bit of trouble. So in order to kind of survive a bit better, they move up to New York. And so we follow this young woman who has a very beautiful singing voice that she does not realize that she could go far with. And so it's a story of love, family, music, and singing. I recommend it. It was a very nice read, and we were lucky enough to have Rosalind Story come to the book club, and she's a very, very interesting woman. She's a violinist, and music has been her life, and she told us all about that. And we spoke about music and just, everything, literature and writing. It was very, very nice. And I'm very much looking forward to reading another book by Rosalind Story. Okay, the next book I read is this one right here, The Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese. Now, I know everybody's pretty much heard about this one. It is, as you can see, quite the chunker. I read this one with my book club here in Normandy. And my, what a wonderful story. These characters are still living in my head. They're still living in my head, like Big Amachi. I can't stop thinking about Big Amachi. I highly recommend this one. So it starts off with a young girl, Big Amachi. Well, she's Amachi. She winds up being married off to a man. And the beginning of the book starts like this, just so that you can, because it's very memorable, the very beginning of the book. So it says, Chapter 1, Always, 1900, Travancore, South India. She is 12 years old and she will be married in the morning. Mother and daughter lie on the mat, their wet cheeks glued together. Anyway, this story follows, it's a generational story, but it follows Amachi and her marriage to this man that she does not know at all. And you follow the development and the changes that are going on in that family, as well as the changes that are going on in India. So good. This is like an epic, just a memorable read. Frankly, this book is like 700 pages, I think it is. 720 pages or something. I could have read 300 more. I mean, it was just that good. I highly recommend it if you're looking for something. It is historical fiction. It does have a tinge of medical stuff in it as well. But it is, pretty much a family story is what the main thing is. And you see it generational. So good. I mean, it gets all your emotions going. It's just touching. It's surprising. It's sad. It's everything. This is definitely probably one of my favorite reads of 2024. And this book came out last year in 2023. I didn't get a chance to read it last year. mostly because I knew I would be reading it in the book club. And let me tell you, the best read for me of the year 2024. Highly recommend. 5 stars. Okay, this next book, I'm not going to talk a lot about it because we did a live on it, but it's called The Secret Diaries of Charles Ignatius Sancho. And this is by Patterson Joseph. This is Patterson Joseph right here. And this is his debut. Now, Patterson Joseph is an actor. He does a lot of acting in the theater, and he has played the role of Charles Ignatius Sancho for quite a while. So much so that he felt like he needed to write a book about him. I really enjoyed this book. I think I gave it around like 4 stars, and I stand by my 4 stars. I mean, I'm not saying it's a perfect book. If it was perfect, would have given it 5. But it is one that I think needs its place on your shelves for Black history, particularly Black history UK. Charles Ignatius Sancho is a very big personality in Black British history, abolitionist, one of the first Black people to vote. Highly interesting story of his survival in London. I highly recommend this one. You're going to learn things, and you're going to learn about, things in a different kind of way. And I think it's worth the read. It's beautifully written, but let me tell you, I was reading this and listening to the audiobook, and let me tell you, that audiobook was fire, okay? It was fire, and it's read by Patterson Joseph. He reads the audiobook, and oh my God, he does it brilliantly. So if you can't get your hands on the book, I mean, although the book is absolutely gorgeous, it's beautiful. You can't get your hands, and this is the UK edition. If you can't get your hands on the physical copy, I highly recommend the audio. I give the audio 5 stars. It was just read to perfection. So yeah, if you don't want to read it, fine. Get the audiobook though. But I feel like if you're making a collection of books by Black authors that that you feel are really important in your library, I feel like this is one that needs to be there for the Black British history. So that's it. So that's what I read. And of course, I've been reading this one right here, Les Miserables. And yes, wonderful read. Loving it so far. Quite the chunker. And I will be putting up some posts about this week's reading tomorrow, Tuesday, because that's when the next week starts. So that's it. That's all I have for you today. Comment below and tell me if you read any of these, if you're interested in it, any of these, why or why not. And let's chat below. And I will see you very soon with another video. Bye-bye.